Hello and welcome to the Bad Spot and a quick introductory video for the short Ironsworn mini-campaign entitled The Ballad of Tio Artiga. Now I'm not going to do a full session 0 for this because I already did it all the way back in 2019. For those of you who have seen a lot of my stuff will know that Tio was the very first character I ever played in my very first game of Ironsworn, and I talked about that short-lived campaign in the Failure 101 video that I made last year. But as I was looking back and thinking about poor Tio's truncated adventure, it got me wondering, how would this campaign go if I played it again? And I thought, you know what, that would be a fun thing to find out, so I'm going to do just that. I'm going to take the exact same campaign setup for that ill-fated game and play it again, but this time with about 60 hours of experience under my belt. If you want to know what happened to Tio the first time around, then do check out that failure video, because it was certainly a shit show. The purpose of this intro is to quickly run down the campaign setup and give a bit of context for the adventure, and I'm keeping it exactly the same. I've been back through my 2019 notes and I haven't changed anything. I'm going to keep all the details right up to the inciting incident. So here's who we're playing. Tio Artiga is a mercenary who, along with his partner Mila, travels across the Ironlands from homestead to homestead, village to village, offering protection in exchange for food and lodging. Mila is the muscle, and Tio is the cunning. But after a straightforward job running off some bandits goes horribly wrong, Mila is killed and Tio left for dead. As a result, Tio is haunted by the ghostly spirit of Mila, a spectral reminder of his failure to have her back when the job went south. Tio is now working on his own as a blade for hire, using his unique skill set as a thief or sometimes assassin. His background vow is to track down the bandits who killed Mila and avenge her death. His best stats are Shadow, Wits and Edge, and he has the following assets: Infiltrator, Cutthroat, and Spiritbound. Note here that I am playing with the original stat array. Fans of my Starforge game will know that I play with a different array to make things a little more forgiving, but I'm going to really lean into how punishing the original Ironsworn can be, so we are just going to roll with it and see what happens. So let's envision Tio. Tio uses he/him pronouns and stands about 5 feet 8 inches tall. His diminutive stature doesn't instantly bring to mind a dangerous mercenary, but looks can be deceiving. He has pale skin and reddish-brown hair that is tightly cropped up the back and sides, but is an unruly mess on top. He has a stubbly beard and piercing blue eyes. He's lean in build and carries himself quietly and purposefully. He wears a dark leather tunic and over the top a greyish-blue cloak. He nearly always has a dark blue scarf around his neck that as quick as a flash can be pulled up to cover his face. He can then pull up his hood and blend into the shadows at a moment's notice. Equipment-wise, Tio travels light, with a small shoulder bag containing essentials only, and all manner of pouches and pockets secreted about his person is where you'll find anything else he might need. He is armed with 2 ornate fighting knives, each with a handle made of black pearl and foot-long blades. He carries these, one on each hip, and they are by far the most expensive and valuable thing he owns. He also has several other smaller daggers and throwing knives stowed away in various parts of his clothing. So that is Tio. But what about our version of the Ironlands? What are our truths? Truths are an important part of setting the tone for your campaign and providing some parameters within which you can play. Much like you may have seen me work through the truths in my Starforge game, it's a simple exercise you work through picking options from different categories or writing your own. So here is what is true about Tio's world. First up, the old world. The old world could no longer sustain us. We were too large in number. We had felled the forests. Our crops withered in the barren ground. The cities and villages overflowed with desperate hungry people. Petty kings battled for scraps. We cast our fate to the sea and found the Ironlands. A new world, a fresh start. Following on from that, we have iron. Inscrutable metal pillars are found throughout the land. They are iron grey and smooth as river stone. No one knows their purpose. Some say they are as old as the world. Some, such as the iron priests, worship them and swear vows upon them. Most make the warding sign and hurry along their way when they happen across one. The pillars do not tarnish, and even the sharpest blade cannot mark them. Legacies. Before the Ironlanders, before even the Firstborn, another people lived here. Their ancient ruins are found throughout the Ironlands. Next up, we have communities. We have forged the Ironlands into a home. Villagers within the havens are connected by well-trod roads. Trade caravans travel between settlements in the havens and those in outlying regions. Even so, much of this land is untamed. Leaders. Each of our communities has its own leader, called an overseer. Every 7th spring, the people affirm their current overseer and choose a new one. Some overseers wear the iron circlet reluctantly, while others thirst for power and gain it through schemes or threats. Defence. The wardens are our soldiers, guards, and militia. They serve their communities by standing sentry, patrolling around lands, and organising defences in times of crisis. Most have strong ties to their community. Others, called free wardens, are wandering mercenaries who hire on to serve a community or protect caravans. Mysticism. Magic is rare and dangerous, but those few who wield the power are truly gifted. Religion. A few Ironlanders still make signs or mumble prayers out of habit or tradition, but most believe the gods long ago abandoned us. Just like in my Starforge game, God is dead. Firstborn. The Firstborn live in isolation and are fiercely protective of their own lands. Beasts. Beasts of all sorts roam the Ironlands. They dwell primarily in the Reaches but range into the settled lands to hunt. There they often prey on cattle, but attacks on travellers, caravans, or even settlements are not uncommon. And finally, horrors. We are wary of dark forests and deep waterways, for monsters lurk in those places. In the depths of the long night, when all is wreathed in darkness, only fools venture beyond their homes. So that's our basic character details and our world, and I think that's all we really need. We will, as before, be beginning down on the Ragged Coast, and in the fishing village of Mornstone, where Tio is to see the warden about some business regarding some bandits and a missing MacGuffin. All that stuff I think we'll get into in the first episode proper, because this is as far as I took the campaign setup the first time around. So that's it. We are ready. If you want to hop right over to that first episode now, you should see the on-screen link and also find one in the description below. So the next time I see you, we'll be throwing ourselves into the adventure and seeing if we can stay alive a little longer than we did back in 2019. But until then, it is farewell and safe passage.